What's going on out there, man? It is the homie, Mainman in the building. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. What's up, man? Salute to the fam. Salute to everybody out there, man. You dig? Hope y'all took that knee today and be thankful for opening your eyes today, man. Real spill, man. But y'all know how I like to do, coming on through in the morning sometimes for a quick word before I get on up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, live 8:44 a.m. here in the DMV. And yeah, we just going to, chat it up about a little boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all. So the thing is this. First, though, before we get into the subject at hand, and I got a lot to say about this, I just want to say to the UK brethren, to my UK brethren, I got much love for y'all out there in the UK, man. Look, man, because we've been signing up a lot of people lately. And so I just want y'all to know, allow me for a second, fam, just for a second, allow me to reintroduce myself. I am Mainman, Mademan, boxing aficionado. You know what I'm saying? For everyone that comes here, you got to understand something. I'm not the typical uploader. You're going to hate me one day. You're going to love me the next. I'm very objective, subjective, and have no borders. You know what I mean? So you got to understand something to everyone that comes in. Don't get your feelings hurt. You know what I'm saying? Don't get all pissed off about this or that. You know what I mean? Because guess what? You're going to love me one day, hate me the next. Hang in there. That's all I can tell you. Hang in there. But anyway, let's move forward here, man. We got some things to talk about. And what's up, Bright Lights? What's up, man? Good morning to you, man. And I think where we're gonna chop it up. Y'all see the title of the video right there, man. I got to talk about Errol this morning. I got to talk about Errol. Spence Nation front and center, because I'm not liking what I'm hearing from your man. And we're gonna get there. But the thing is this, it all comes down to this. Errol despises Keith one-time Thurman. Despises him. I told y'all, it's something about Spence Nation. I don't get it. Why y'all hate Keith so much? You hate him. It's something inside of y'all that just don't like Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao, all good. But the second you mention the name Keith Thurman, and it's like you don't want to have nothing to do with Keith, he's the plague, he's COVID-20. You know what I'm saying? You don't want nothing to do with the man. So I don't understand this. So can we have a conversation, Spence Nation? Let's have a conversation about this. Now, I caught the Brian Custard interview. I'm sure most of y'all have seen the Errol Spence, Derek James, Brian Custard interview. And I'll have a couple excerpts from that particular interview. And in his interview is where Errol made the statements be known. Now, he said this before. This ain't nothing new under the sun. He's been riding this particular lane for a minute. He's been saying, hey, I don't want to have anything to do with Keith Thurman. I don't like Keith Thurman. He's fake. He's phony. He's this. He's that. I think there's other reasons. I think Errol just don't like looking in the mirror. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Spence Nation, y'all got to holler at me and let me know what the deal. Now, the thing is, I find funny. Now, I understand y'all like, yo, when Keith was champion, he was unified. He didn't want to have anything to do with Errol Spence, right? He wanted to fight everybody else except Errol Spence. And so Errol is doing the same thing to him. Am I right so far? That's the way it goes, right? That's the way y'all telling me. Okay, cool. That was the past. Now, I'm looking at Keith Thurman recent time. And I'm just going through his quotes all this year. And everything that I'm pulling up from Keith Thurman this year is signaling he wants Errol Spence. He wants Errol Spence. In the summertime, we had Keith Thurman saying this, me and Errol in 2021. That's in the near future. That was in the summertime. In the fall, we had Keith saying this, Errol is going to have to give me my respect one way or another. If he doesn't want to see me at 147, he is going to have to leave the division, which is exactly what Errol Spence Jr. is talking about doing. So now Keith is not talking like he used to talk. This is a get back year. Oh, we'll see each other. And keep in mind, he never said he wasn't going to fight Errol Spence Jr., like Errol Spence Jr. is saying about him. But anyway, he's far removed from that talk. Now that he sounds like he really wants this fight, I got Errol changing his tune. Because Errol back in the day was the one who was hunting, right? And now that he got them 2 big belts, now he's just like, man, I don't want to have anything to do. Right when Keith is now talking like we need him to talk, pinpointing down time frames, letting you know what he want to do. Now it's like, oh, hold on, I don't want to have anything to do with Keith Thurman. Now, according to Errol Spence Jr., this is what he had to say. I guess I'm moving up or going down, one of the two, because I mean, that ain't happening. F Keith Thurman. Those are the latest quotes from Errol Spence. Then he goes on and says that he's just one guy that I've never liked. There's a lot of boxers out there I really don't care for, but him, I just don't like him. I feel like he's fake. Everything about him, I just don't like him, end quote. That's not enough. Here's the deal. That's not enough, Earl. You just cannot say I'm not fighting Keith Thurman because I don't like him, because that don't make sense to me. And this is what I'm talking about. Where's all of this vitriol for Danny Garcia? You walking straight into a fight with Danny Garcia with no problems. Easy work. Oh, he was the mandatory main man made, man. No problems, though. He's welcoming this. But when it comes down to Keith, but what did Keith do to you that Danny didn't? What did Keith do to you? You feel me? That Manny didn't. You want them? They've been avoiding you like the plague, but you don't seem to have the same level of vitriol towards them that you got towards Keith. What's the deal? This ain't good enough, fam. Just because you don't like the man. Just because you don't like his face. Because you don't like his ponytail. Because you don't, you know what I mean? That's not enough. This is your Joker. This is your Joker. This is your villain. You can't leave the division without facing Keith. That's right. I said it. Mainman, we want Bud. Of course we want Bud. We absolutely want Bud. 100% want Bud. But we also want Keith too. We can walk and chew gum at the same time here. We want Bud and Keith. And I don't think that's asking too much. People be out here like, well, yeah, why you want Earl to do all the work? That's not all the work, bro. That's not all the work. If you want to talk about all the work, let's talk about Demetrius Andrade. Because Demetrius Andrade is running around here today and he's saying, hey, Earl, you got a lot to say out here, man. If you want something to say, come on up here to 160. As a matter of fact, let's read the direct quote from Demetrius Andrade, letting it out today. And he says, and I quote, I'm going to go with Crawford. He can box, take a good shot. He knows how to use the ring well, and he has good ring generalship. As with Earl, he's kind of one-dimensional right now. He's relying on power, and so much now it's kind of funny. You knock down Kell Brook, Chris Algieri, and some other guys, but you don't knock down Mikey Garcia. That tells me that he is not the special fighter that we all thought he was. There's a lot of hate here, Demetrius. He goes on and says that Errol Spence wants to fight someone 2 weight classes under him. Tell him to come up to 160 and we can put the title on the line and do whatever he wants to do, end quote. Those are the words of Demetrius Andrade. Now, don't get it twisted, fam. I'm not stupid. Now, Demetrius Andrade, we like you, but we don't trust you. At the end of the day, you calling out a smaller man. And I know what people may say, well, man, Mikey Garcia came up 2 divisions, but this is Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade is the same dude that ran around and said that the Charlos and Earl were on PEDs. So Demetrius Andrade, we like you, but we know you like to kick up dust for sometimes no reason. But he does have one point. He does have a point. Now, I always tell people, if Earl was to do what Bud is doing, he'll be at 160 because Bud is on his 3rd weight class, right? So asking Earl to go to 160, I guess that's too much. Now, Mikey can come up 2 divisions and face Earl, but that's fine. But Earl can't go up 2 divisions to face Demetrius Andrade. That's a problem. I'm going to have Errol Spence Nation sitting here like, man, you know that ain't right. You know that ain't cool. I mean, I agree. It's not conventional boxing thinking that a fighter should just jump up and go 2 weight classes. But, I mean, y'all tell me that little Mike was just fine. There was no problems with little Mike. A lot of folks out there said it was fine for what Guillermo Rigondeaux did. So, I mean, it's not act like it's too far-fetched. Special fighters do special things. But I'm just saying, it ain't too far-fetched. But back to Keith Thurman. So the problem is, like I said before, man, It's like Errol Spence Jr. is looking in the mirror and he wants everyone to forget. See, him speaking on Thurman in a good light would actually give Keith Thurman some momentum. The last thing that Errol Spence Jr. wants is for Keith Thurman to have momentum, because he wants people to forget who Keith Thurman was. He want to wipe him away from the history books if you can. So I don't want to have nothing to do with him. And I don't want anybody to say that I'm doing the same things that he did. I don't want people to remember that. I don't want people to remember that he beat Danny and Sean before me. He was the man before me. I don't want no one to remember that. You erased. I don't want got nothing to do with you. That's not good enough, Earl. That's not good enough. You cannot just say I'm not fighting him because I don't like him. You can say I'm not fighting him because he's losing. You can say I'm not fighting him because he got no hunger. You can say I'm not fighting him because he ain't taking the fight game serious and he ain't got nothing to offer. But if that man comes back and if he fights here Jordanis Ugas and he beats a Jordanis Ugas for that WBA regular championship, the pressure rises. And you damn sure gonna have to face Keith Thurman then. See, Spence Nation, y'all can hide behind the fact that Keith don't got a belt today. He ain't got a belt. He ain't got nothing to offer, man. What we gonna fight him for? For what? Just because, for what? I think you still should fight him. But y'all don't think so. But if he beats Jordanis Ugas, the pressure rises. Earl, you ain't going nowhere. You know, Keith never talked this way. Keith never counseled you out. He respected your ass. I told y'all this a zillion times. Keith never counseled you out. He respected you, man. He says, I'll meet you at the top. Why am I going to fight you right now? For what? When I know you special. When I know you're going to be at the top. And I know what me and you can do can break the freaking bank. You just keep on winning. That was the plan. It's just that Keith ain't hold up his end of the bargain. You already know. But that's not saying that I'm never going to fight you. Spence Nation, y'all just impatient. Y'all just didn't want to wait. Y'all just didn't want to get it to that ultimate level. Y'all just didn't want to wait. But he never said he wasn't going to face Errol. I got Errol today saying, oh, just canceling the future altogether. I don't want nothing to do with him at all. I don't care if he wins. I don't care if he loses. I don't like him. I don't like his face. That's enough for me to say I don't want to fight him. Not enough. Not enough, Earl. If Keith come back winning, you can't leave, bro. Or you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with the fact that you ran from one time. And I know Spence Nation ain't going to be happy about that. No, they're not going to be happy about that. Let me see what the fam talking about. They're not going to be happy about that. Good morning to you, Kingsley. What's up, man? What's up with you? He says, yo, Spence is acting like a real PBC queen. Diva tactics all day. You know what I'm saying? Thurman versus AB. I don't blame Spence. We can't be like, see, that's not good, man. No. That's not good for boxing, man. We need that fight, bro. This is a huge fight. Keith come back winning. It's a huge fight. I don't care what nobody say. It's still a big fight. Sean, what's up, man? What's up with you? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Word of the day. Always thought the odds were stacked against Thurman to lose to Pacquiao. He fought his ass off in that fight. He fought his ass off. Fought his ass off. But if he come back winning, I'm telling y'all straight like this, Earl can't go nowhere. Mike, what's up, man? What's going on? I think Earl just said that to see what Keith is going to do because you know he want to put hands and feet on him. I think so too, Mike. I always go back to that towards the end of the vid. I always tell people that I truly think that deep down that even Earl himself wouldn't feel right. If he left 147, Spence Nation, y'all got to hear me. If your boy leaves 147 and he don't face Keith, he can't, it can't sit right with him in his gut. It just can't. Unless, like someone just said, he's a true diva. But it can't sit right. Knowing that I'm leaving a weight class without facing my rival. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Bud fight is all that we all know it to be. And yes, it would do great things for Errol Spence Jr.'s career if he was to defeat Terrence Crawford. I don't deny that. But the difference between Terrence Crawford and Keith Thurman is that Terrence Crawford is the new guy, is the one that came to the division and, hey, he's just a great fighter, number one pound for pound. So, of course, it's just the natural order of things. But That's not like with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is a rival. I keep going back to this with y'all. Rivals. People that don't like each other. In rival situations, it usually don't matter what the records are. I don't care if you got 10 losses. I don't care if you got 15. I still want your head. It don't matter. When Muhammad Ali went into the third fight with Joe Frazier, what did he do it for? Frazier wasn't the same Frazier, but it meant something. I tried to tell people this last night. I did the video. For anyone who's seen the video last night, I had to take it down because when you notice I was moving around and a lot of pictures were behind me. One of the pictures was like a half-naked girl, and it's one of the pictures that I painted. It's like a half-naked girl, but I didn't realize that the nipples part on her or on her breast was showing. You know what I'm saying? So before I had any issues with YouTube, I took the video down. That's the only reason. But I stand by every single word. And we were speaking about how when you have either a trilogy or a rival in today's boxing, you can't just walk away from that. I got Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz at 1-1. And I hear boxing fans saying it's cool for Anthony Joshua to walk away. Don't work like that. I got Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder engaged in what was supposed to be a trilogy, and y'all cool with them walking away. It don't work like that. I got Danny Garcia playing duck, duck, goose from Turnsburg Crawford. It don't work like that. You're his rival. You go back to the amateurs. Danny Garcia, you can't go nowhere without facing Bud. See, they want people to forget. They want people to forget. They don't want cats like me talking about this. You're not supposed to bring up Terrence Crawford and Danny Garcia when we went back in the amateurs, Mainman, Mademan. You can't bring up the fact that they split. They're 1-1. No, that's not cool. You can't go back to Leo Santa Cruz and Gary Russell Jr. amateur days and say they are rivals, so they should finish that. That's not right, Mainman, Mademan. No. What the hell is going on around here? So in the case of Errol Spence Jr., bro, you got a rival. And it ain't Terrence Crawford as much as we think it is. No. That's just a competitive fight that we want to see. But your rival, the yin to your yang, the Skeletor to your He-Man, the Bowser to your Mario. You feel me? The Tom to your Jerry. It's Keith one-time Thurman. And that's just the way it is, whether you like it or not. You know why? Because you chased him for so many years and you pressed for that fight. And he did try to play big on you in a way and make you wait. I agree with you there, Earl. But you built something. And the day you announced that fight, regardless of what your fans say and regardless of what Thurman's fans say, everyone's buying that fight. Hold on for a second, fam. Let me cut my alarm off. Hold on. Hey, man, you know you a beast when you wake up before your alarm goes off. You know what I'm talking about? But that's just what I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. So he can't go nowhere until he faces that rival. Sean, what's up, man? Fury took Wilder's soul. We'll see about that, man. Last I checked, Fury might have a date in court. You know what I'm saying? He ain't take nothing from Wilder, man. Wilder right there. Hopefully we get Spence versus Crawford next. That's cool, T-Town. I'm good with that. We can get that next. And give Keith Thurman enough time to go and defeat your Danis Ugas, get a WBA belt, and then we see the winner of that. Maybe Keith Thurman gets the winner, and then you move up, Earl, as a #1 pound-for-pound fighter if you get it done. Now that's respect. You want respect? You want respect like that, Earl? Not only will you be considered probably the best welterweight if you get through this, you will be considered the best fighter in boxing. Facts. Your road is right there. Why are you running away from your lane? You ain't got to go nowhere, man. You ain't got to go nowhere. You can stay right where you are and become the #1 fighter in boxing. What you going to do when you go up to 54? Because the name that everyone's going to want to see you face is the Charlo. That's your homeboy. You ain't facing the Charlo. So what you going to run up there to face Texer? Who you facing, man? That you running away from Keith? Or is it just a point you're just trying to make? You're just trying to make a point. I'm just trying to make a point. Well, guess what? That's not good enough. can't just say that you don't like him. The man is still one of the top fighters at the division. One loss, don't wipe him off the radar. One loss, don't wipe him off the radar. And if he comes back with the eye of the tiger, with that hunger, that fire in his belly, Earl, you going to almost be obligated because the pressure's going to rise. That's right, Spence Nation. That's right. So, you know, Thurman 2.0. Thurman at his best should be able to beat Pacquiao all day. I think so. If he was the rematch Pacquiao, I'd favor Keith. I still favor Keith. Of course, the hunger matters. His dedication matters. Is he on weight? Is he still blowing up? I was real disappointed with Keith after that last video he posted, because we sat here and we had did because remember he had did that one video on Instagram when he was on the bike, and we was like, oh, okay, all right, we hear you, keep talking good, boom, boom, boom. And then like the very next video he let out, he's sitting there eating Chef Boyardee ravioli or something, you know what I mean? Smacking his gums, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you better eat this. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, I'm like, bro, you throwing me for the loop, man. You're throwing me for the loop, you know what I mean? But this is why I always go back and say, yo, if his hunger is intact, and I ain't talking about the hunger that he was using for the ravioli. I mean his boxing hunger. If his boxing hunger is intact, of course, I want to see the fight. You know what I mean? Of course, because it's just such a built-up rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Real spill, real spill. Oh, I got that word today. I got you. Thurman making this too complicated. Just become the IBF mandatory. Facts, Nino. Facts. That's a good point. That's a great point. And Thurman got to understand, you're going to have to be humbled coming back to boxing, bro. I mean, you may not get a title shot on your Dana's Ugas, even though I won't see how Ugas turns that fight down. But let's say if he don't want to give you a shot, then you are going to have to go back through the rankings. And I think that is the best route, like Nino was talking about right there. Go back through the IBF. They always got problems never having a number one and all of this other stuff. Go through the IBF. You'll get there. Either way, Keith is going to look for a route back to a big fight. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Hey, T-Town says, man, yo, next week, Brooks stops Crawford. I hear you, man. If that happens, I hear you. I'm favoring Crawford all day, though. I favor Crawford all day. I heard Brooks just came out and said he's now in the States now. He's here in Vegas. He beat that UK ban. They shutting the government down over in the UK. They're going to probably shut down travel. As a matter of fact, the shutdown starts today, if I'm not mistaken. So Brooke is already here. So that's a good thing. Brooke has already gotten out of the country. He's already here in Vegas. He's ready to go. Look like we're going to get that fight. I'm rocking with Bud all day, but not by much of a margin. And I'm fully aware that anything can happen in that fight, especially in the first 6 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. KP from KC5 says, yo, Earl said Manny and Bud next. Yeah, I heard him. He says Manny, Bud, and then he moving up, fam, or down. The man even said or down. You know what I mean? But he's moving up or down if he after these two. Forget Keith Thurman. Forget Keith Thurman. He swear he is the stinging Keith. But Keith is telling you, look, if you don't want to face me for your belts, bro, then you just got to leave him. And I'll just get him again. It's a simple thing. And I'll still have big fights. But you gonna run away with the stigma and the reputation of avoiding Keith Thurman or totally ducking Keith Thurman. Keith never wiped off Errol Spence off his future. Because I know I'm gonna see some of y'all Spence fans out here talking about well, Keith could have did this, and Keith, he never said that he was not going to face Errol Spence Jr. I want that to be known, because y'all got a bad habit of acting like Keith said, I'm never facing Earl. He just, kept stalling him, kept delaying him, kept wanting him to do something so we can make our fight big. And once it's big enough, we make it happen. It's a simple deal. But I got Earl saying, hell no, nothing at all. Oh, man, it's good, though. He did it to him. He did it to him back in the day. You know what I mean? When you've been begging of somebody for 4 years for a fight and they keep downplaying you now, you on top now. Public Service Electric is calling them now. They want to fight. Let the lights go lost. Bro, let's see. But nobody was saying that when Keith was on top, though. When Keith was the man, unified, #1 welterweight in the world, it was, oh, you can't do that. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, you holding up the division. Oh, you're ducking, you're dodging. But then now Earl do the same thing, and it's perfectly fine. No one got a word to say. It's fine. They did it to him, man. So, yeah, I mean, why should Earl have to fight Keith? I mean, who is Keith? You know what I mean? Like, that's not right. Right is right and wrong is wrong. If we're going to stay consistent with this or not. Now, I was at least saying back in the day that Keith was wrong for that position. But I was saying that he respects Errol. It's a wrong position, but he respects him. He sees something special in him. That's what I was saying. But I also was saying that Keith was wrong. Spence Nation, y'all act like Spence does no wrong. He can walk on water around this joint. Oh, it's no problem what he's doing. As long as he faces Bud. Come on, man. You know what I mean? If he should be mad at anybody, he should be mad at Danny and Sean. I mean, not Sean, but more so Danny. He did the same thing. But he just got a problem with Keith. I tell you, it don't make no sense. Bright Light say, yo, man, if you don't like somebody that bad, you need to beat his ass all day. I agree with that sentiment right there. That's how you get it done. You don't sit back and say, I'm going to avoid him. I know he probably thinking about the payday. Like, oh, I'm not going to give him a payday. You know what I'm saying? But dog, no, you need to stop thinking like that, Earl, man. If you don't like Keith, if you really despise Keith, you really got something against the man, then go in there and put hands and feet all over him and get it done. And then be done with it. Walk home like the day after you beat Kell Brook. I remember Errol Spence Jr. because that thing did something to my DNA because I was so pissed. Seeing Errol Spence Jr. on social media after he beat Kell Brook, scarfing down chocolate brownies, did something to me, man. I was so pissed. Just to see him on there eating chocolate brownies. You did. So, you know, that's the satisfaction right there, Earl. Not, oh, he's not going to get a payday or not going to get a title shot. No. The satisfaction is whooping his ass and then the next day eating a bag of chocolate brownies. That's the satisfaction. You beat him and you sit back with his name or his scalp on your wall and you say, on to the next. That is the gratification. Not ducking, because you're going to be 45 years old and saying, damn, I should have took that fight. What if? I wish I would have settled that. That's going to be you. Regardless of what y'all saying, Spence Nation, it will mess with him down later on down the line in life. He would regret it to the fullest. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keith can fight Bud while Earl. Keith can fight Bud while Earl fight Manny or vice versa. I would love that, KP from KC5. You right on the money, bro. I would love that, man. I'm down for that. But we all remember how that went down. Mr. Keith Thurman wanted to price himself out of that situation, unfortunately. And I thoroughly believe that he was serious about that number. People be like, nah, he was willing. I don't think he was even willing to come down, to be honest with you. Y'all got to understand the times that we living in here. There's a big fights are far in between. Keith probably don't know when the next time a fight of that caliber would come along to get that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, I think he was serious. Definitely. But I think him and Bud would have definitely been a good fight. Now, that was another fighter that Keith kind of pushed to the back burner. Because Bud, as soon as he got to the weight class, he wanted Keith. ASAP, after his very first fight, called out the very first name was Keith Thurman. So, you know, Keith was playing games back then. I don't deny that. Now, Now, he never respected Crawford. That's the difference also between Keith and Earl and Keith and Crawford. He don't respect Crawford. He respects Earl. There's a difference. For some reason, he don't like Crawford. And I already told y'all my opinion on that. I believe that he don't like Crawford because of how they never viewed him as a certified champion. They never viewed him as a star. They never viewed him as much. If you listen to the words of Bob Arum over the years, they've always talked down to Keith Thurman. And Keith never really felt like, I don't think he got his respect from the other side. So he's like, screw him. You know what I'm saying? But he don't respect, for some reason, Terrence Crawford. WB no, and, you know, who you beat and get a belt and yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? He don't respect Crawford. Asking him for $10 million, you know, that's not respect. But with Earl, that's respect. That's respect. Errol Spence Jr. sat right next to Keith Thurman at a fight and told him to his face, I'll stop you in 6. Facts. I'll stop you in 6 to your face. And I was gutted after that, bruh. Gutted. Almost abandoned Keith on that. Like, bro, you gonna let that man tell you to your face he gonna stop you in 6 and you gonna do nothing? Are you tripping? And then he sat next to you at the fight. So you had 12 rounds of that, him telling you, I'll stop you in 6. Round 1, at the end of round 1, hey, yo, Keith, I'll stop you in 6. At the end of round 2, hey, yo, Keith, one more time, I'll stop you in 6. Here we are now in round 11, and he's still tapping you on the shoulder, telling you, I'll stop you in 6. And I was so pissed. Man, I was pissed. So that's what I'm talking about. And Keith, something's got to be boiling in you too. How can you call it a career? How can you leave the weight class without facing Errol? It goes for you too, Keith. Don't change. Both of y'all need each other. I'm not like these today's fans. I'm not like one man's the star. So what? Who? You know, what have he done to fight that? No. You rivals. It don't matter what you've done at this point. I don't care how many losses you got. I don't care if you just recently got knocked out. But you got to settle that. You got to settle that. I'm just saying. See what the fam talking about. Yo, Mike says, man, he lost to a 40-year-old, man. Come on, man. I don't give a damn if it was Pacquiao. He lost to an old man, and that was running out of time. Sure. He lost to an old man, but I mean, that's Manny Pacquiao, bro. That's the legend. And on top of that, he fought his ass off. I do think Keith underestimated that fight. And let's just call it what it is. Manny Pacquiao played that very well. Caught Keith between fights. Now, it's Keith's fault that he blew up in weight, sure. Keith can't blame nobody but himself for that dumb move. But Manny caught him, and he had to drop that weight so fast. Who turns down the Manny Pacquiao fight? You know what I mean? That could have been already worked out prior to the Josecito Lopez fight, and it already been crystal clear. Manny knew what he was doing. But it is what it is. And you're right, Mike. He did lose to a 40-year-old. He did. But that's one loss. And it doesn't take away from the fact that everything that Errol is doing has already been done by that man. That don't take that away neither. You're walking in the footsteps, brother. You dig? So all I'm telling you is they got to see each other, man. One way or another. One way or another. Hold on, family. Kind of skipped on me. Let me scroll back up. Damn, y'all been coming in. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna go back up some. Okay, we're gonna start with Nino right here. Errol shouldn't take the Thurman fight before a Bud fight. Errol shouldn't take the Thurman fight before a Bud fight. That's a unification. Besides, Thurman and Spence can always meet at 154. I don't know if Thurman is willing to go up there, but yeah, they could meet at 154. And I'm with you, Nino. I think the Bud fight may take precedence. Mainly because number one, pound for pound, unification. It's a lot of metal hardware in that fight. So of course it may take precedence. But just because that fight comes first doesn't mean that Keith Thurman doesn't come at all. It just doesn't mean it. I get it. That's a great legacy fight for Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, and we all want to see that fight, no doubt. But that don't mean you leave Keith. That don't mean you leave Keith. Don't mean it. You got to settle that. And Errol for himself should want to settle that. If I got a neighbor, if I got somebody live around me and I don't like them, I can't stand them. The first chance I get to put hands on them, I'm doing it. And you're going to pay me millions of dollars to do it? It's a no-brainer. I can't stand you, cuz. And somebody going to pay me $10 million to whoop your ass. Say less. That's the way it's supposed to go. But I guess it don't happen in 2020. Thurman needs a one-time type of KO first. All you need to do is beat your Danis Ugas. I don't care how he beat him. Beat your Danis Ugas. That's my measure. That's my bar. Come back, beat your Danis Ugas. That's the target. That should be the target. No one else really makes sense right now. Come back and beat your Danis Ugas, Keith. Come back and beat your Danis Ugas. Anyone else right now don't make sense. Don't make sense. At least I don't think so. Unless you want to jump in there with young Jerron. You want to jump in there with Boots. Because Earl kind of just brushing Boots off his shoulder, which he should and he could, because he is the man. The king can do that. Now, Boots, looking at Earl, that's a little too far up the ladder. He's the number one. That's a little too far up. But I'm just saying, though, Keith. I'm just saying. Earl will not do as good at a higher weight division. Some people believe that he gets by on size and power. He can mow you down, and some people believe that he's the bigger, stronger man at the weight class. He makes the weight, man, is all I can say to that. He makes the weight. He don't miss weight, never miss weight. Even without Blu-ray, his strength and conditioning coach never miss weight. So until he misses the weight, till he looks like a drained fight, not to mention he's going down the stretch in these fights looking strong. I can't put that on him. If you make the weight, you make the weight. Would I like to see him go to 54? Absolutely. But if you're making the weight, you're making the weight. 40-year-old man still competitive, man. Come on. Absolutely. 40-year-old man still can fight his ass off. He's a legend for a reason. But Keith still, if he would have been more disciplined, he would have had a better shot in that fight. Now blowing up in weight helps. You know what I mean? Mike says, don't try to lowball Danny, and Danny will put hands and feet on him. Everybody talk about how much power Danny got, so he knocks out weak chin Crawford. Earl got a granite chin, and Danny by KO. Oh, you think Danny knocking out? Hold on, knocks out a weak chin Crawford. Earl got a granite chin. Oh, Danny by KO. You saying Earl got a granite chin and Danny by? Are you saying Danny gonna knock out Earl, bro? Man, can you clarify that for me, Mike? Nah, man. I mean, that's no excuse, bro. That's a rivalry. It ain't no low. They offered Danny the biggest at that point in Danny's career. That was the biggest offer that Danny ever seen. Facts. And here's the deal. Danny wanted the pay-per-view fight a lot sooner, I'm sure. He hung around for Errol Spence Jr. because Earl was the pay-per-view attraction. He could have been had that with Bud. Could have been had that. He was number one in the WBO for how long? Before Sean Porter took it over and started ducking himself? For how long? So miss me with that, bro. Nah. Danny had a $3 million guaranteed offer. I'm sure they'd have put it on pay-per-view and he'd got something on the back end as well. Danny ain't want to negotiate. Danny ain't want to talk. Nothing. I ain't got nothing to say. Bud who? Bud what? The same cat that beat you back in the day, Danny. That Bud. Low ball, Danny? I don't think that was a low ball, bro. You look at Danny's paychecks up to that point, and you tell me a better one. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. Keith need to get a good win over a top-notch fighter. Porter, Danny, Ugas, or even Boots. I like that, Vincent. Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Now, see how us Keith Thurman people, we can be sensible about stuff. Yes, I do believe that Keith has to get back into the win column first. Yes, and it has to be someone, worth it. I prefer Yordenis Ugas. I think that is the perfect target. And besides, Yordenis Ugas deserves a big fight because, people trying to crap on his belt and crap and act like he ain't a world champion. I couldn't believe seeing boxing articles written about, Yordenis Ugas, somebody need to tell him he's not a real champion. Oh, it's sad to see Yordenis Ugas celebrating. It ain't sad, man. It ain't sad that you got a million belts around here and want to decide who's a real champ and who ain't. So it ain't. No, it ain't. And I respect Yordenis Ugas and let him have his moment. But Keith, you need to be targeting Yordenis Ugas, fam. Thurman versus Sergey Lipin, that's what put Keith in the top 5 IBF all day. That's a good target. I don't know if it's that big of a fight, you know what I mean? But that's not a bad target, man. Sergey Lipin, yes, is definitely not a bad target, especially given what it does for him in the IBF. And that is the route. Guaranteed mandatory. IBF don't play. We all know that. Shout out to Daryl Peoples. They don't play. They don't play. And that may be the way. Maybe the way, but we'll see. And if he gets the WBA, I think Yordenis Ugas has the WBA regular, right? And the WBA super is owned by Manny Pacquiao. And that's the only reason I think Keith will go there. Because, it still puts him right under Manny Pacquiao. And we know he wants that rematch. So I can see him going for Yordenis Ugas, man. And he says he's on board for that fight. Mike says it's a big difference when it's a rivalry for real and not trying to get a retirement check. Pacquiao hurt him bad to the body. It won't be as good fight, trust me. Don't pay his way to the Bahamas. Bro, but the thing, Mike, that's not good enough. Look, Pacquiao and Errol Spence are two different fighters. Yes, Errol Spence is a relentless body puncher, but Keith can move. Remember the body shot heard around the world from Luis Collazo? We remember that, right? That put Earl on his bicycle. Remember the body shot that heard around the world from Sean Porter? That put, Keith on his bicycle. He knows whenever he gets hit to the body, he still survives. He still knows how to get out of danger. That's boxing IQ. And that's one of the things that Keith is best at, thinking in that ring. So, I'm not saying he won't get clipped to the body. I'm not saying he won't take a good straight left hand from Errol Spence downstairs. I'm not saying that. But will he finish him is the question. We just got to see it. We just got to see it. DJ Zion Love in the building. Good morning to you, fam. What's up, man? Salute. Good morning, fam. Good morning. Earl, what's up with you, man? What's up with you? How is it a duck if one time doesn't have a belt? Respect. I agree with that. That's why I say he has to get into the win column and preferably get a belt. WBA regular is the only pretty much one that the IBF is tied up, WBC tied up, WBA tied up. WBO, It's owned by Bud. You can go see Bud. Best route is back to your Danish Ugas and the WBA regular. It's the best way. It's the only belt that's really available, if you think about it. So, unless Pacquiao willing to jump out there, which I seriously doubt. Keith Actions said he didn't want to fight Errol. No, Keith Actions said that I'm pushing Errol down the line and I'll see him down the line. That's what Keith Actions said. I have yet to find a quote that says Keith Thurman says I'm never facing Errol Spence Jr. But now I've seen about 2 to 3, maybe 4 or 5 quotes from Errol Spence Jr. saying that he will never face Keith Thurman. I've never seen Keith say it. Can somebody provide that for me? I've never seen Keith say, I'm never facing Errol Spence Jr. He may say, I'm not fighting him this year. He might say, I'm not fighting him no time soon. But he ain't never say, I'm never fighting him. See, Errol Spence Nation, y'all just too emotional right now. You know what I mean? Y'all going off words of Keith Thurman from 7 years ago. We got to get over it. We got to get past it. You know what I mean? This is a rivalry. And I can't have Keith Thurman this year telling him I want to fight in 2021. You can't leave the division without facing me. You can't have Keith talking like that and Earl turning up just, I don't want to have anything to do with Keith Thurman. And his fan base sucking it up and eating it up. No. Not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Not good enough. Howard, what's up, man? Treat others the way you want to be treated. Man, oh. So let me ask you this, Howard. Was you okay with Keith being this way? You ain't like it back then either, did you? I'm sure you ain't like the fact that Keith was stomping around boxing playing big. But you cool with Earl doing it. So let's just be consistent. I didn't like it when Keith did it, and I don't like it when Earl doing it. I want him to see him fight. But I don't want Earl wiping it off the future. I don't want Earl erasing the whole board and saying I'm never going to face him. I'll go up, I'll go down, I'll retire. I just don't want to have anything to do with Keith Thurman. I don't want to be in the same room with Keith Thurman. That's not how you talk. I can't stand Keith Thurman. I don't like Keith Thurman. I want to beat his ass. That's how you talk. And get paid doing it. Because if you don't talk like that, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder, why you turning down such a big fight? It's a pay-per-view guaranteed. It's double figures guaranteed. So why you turn that down? Earl to go up to 54 to face, I don't know, Patrick Texera or somebody. I mean, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Man, you're wrong. You're wrong on so many levels. Earl not holding up the division if he is going after a unification. Look, I'm not saying what Earl is doing right now is wrong. You know, what he's doing, he's going along with his career. The Danny Garcia fight is a great fight, a huge fight. I respect Errol Spence Jr. for coming off a car accident, being out of the ring as long as he have, and coming back to Danny Garcia, not wanting to tune up. Total respect. See, this is what y'all got to get. Errol Spence Nation, I got a hell of a lot of respect for this man. Y'all misconstrue the respect for a dislike on any kind of way. Don't do it. I respect this man as the number one fighter at welterweight. The number one, numero uno, all day. But numero uno has a lot of obligations and responsibilities. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know what I mean? Too much is given, much is expected. And I'm expecting the number one man to face his rival. Simple. Big Tony, what's up, man? What's up, man? Keith needs to get a belt, strap season, all day. But they told the same thing to Bud, and it just turns out that was just talk, you know what I mean? So whenever I hear somebody tell somebody to get a belt, I just don't know how much to believe. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole deal. They all told Bud to get a belt. He got a belt. He had a belt for years. Then get a belt turned into the WB no. So which one we talking about? I just don't know what to believe. I just want to see him fight, man. I just don't want to see nobody wipe a fight off the future. A huge fight with your rival off the future. That's all I'm saying. KP from KC5 says, man, when you cause the cat, it runs sooner or later. You chase other cat. Keisha Thurman, though. Yeah, that's real good. Nah, bro, it don't work like that, man. It don't run. You can go chase other cats. All right, you can go chase other cats. Fine, I got no problem with that. But just all I'm saying, Spence Nation, y'all got to hear me on this. I have no problem with Earl going to do what he does. If he wants Danny, fine. You want Manny, cool. I want you to face Bud myself. So absolutely. But that don't mean you keep Keith in the cold. It don't mean that. Y'all just want to, y'all see, this is what I'm saying. See, look at KP. That's what he doing. Y'all just want to erase Keith from everybody's minds. Y'all just want to keep your foot on Keith and hope he don't rise back up. That's what y'all want to do. Y'all think I be joking when I say that, but I'm serious. Errol Spence and his nation don't want to see Keith rise again. They just do not. Every time Keith peeks his head out the door, they want to kick the door closed. You know what I mean? The artists don't want Keith to come back. What's that about, man? What is that about? If I can think of any styles that will honestly be a great counter style for Errol Spence Jr., I can look at Keith's style and say, absolutely, absolutely. Man, Keith is singing Mike Jones back then. Yeah, hey, it's all, man, look, man, it's all good. Two rights don't make a wrong around this joint. I mean, two wrongs don't make a right or something like that. Two rights don't make a wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right. Don't matter what happened 7-8 years ago. We got to stop living in the past. We got to stop living in the past, fight fans. We want to look forward to it. And if y'all back Errol Spence Jr. in this decision, he will feel confident to say, you know what? I really don't have to do it. And they're not going to hold me accountable for it. So guess what? I'm out of here. I don't have to face Keith Thurman. He may regret it later on in life. And we're going to be sitting around like, for real? But if you backing him on this and no one is holding his feet to the fire on it other than cats like myself, he going to think it's just perfectly fine. And I don't think it's fine. So it is what it is. It doesn't matter. It says, yo, did Spence actually say he was going to avoid him? Absolutely. Allow me to pull that quote back up. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on. Here it is right here. Bam. The only people I've got on my hit list, I mean, of course, Danny. I'm not overlooking him at all. So Danny, Manny, Pacquiao, and Terrence Crawford, and then I'm going up. I don't see Keith Thurman's name on that list. Here's what else he had to say. He's just one guy that I've just never liked. There's a lot of boxers out there I really don't care for, but him, I just don't like him. I feel like he's fake. Everything about him, I just don't like him. That means you got to fight him, cuz you can't talk like this in that fight. This is boxing. This ain't the Dozens, the Joneses. This ain't none of that. This is, you can't talk like this in that fight. Because if you do that, I don't know what sport I'm in now. I've never seen fighters talk like this and not want to fight. Where are we at in boxing, fam? You can't talk like this. So it is what it is. You know? I don't know. Let me see, man. Nino says he was mad at Danny, but the WBC made Danny the mandatory because Danny was fighting guys ranked in the WBC. Yeah, that's how Danny found his way. Now, I will say that I'm sure after the accident that if Earl wanted to postpone the Danny fight, he could have. I'm sure that the WBC would have obliged, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's still a good fight. And Danny did work his way. But if I'm not mistaken, hold on. See, this is why I got to think. If I'm not mistaken, no. Danny had the WBC belt, right? He lost to Sean. He beat Chomps, Red Cat, after that, right? And became the mandatory again. Hold up, wait a minute. The WBC done put some bullshit in it. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he was the mandatory. Yeah, but he beat Red Cat. I'm not giving him no credit for that. I just thought about that. You beat a 140-pounder and became the mandatory again. They playing Ring Around a Rosie up in that joint. That's what it is. No. See, that's the type of thing that don't get respect from me. You can't lose a belt, beat someone from 140 who just came up, and then automatically you're the mandatory again. No. See, that's how they've been getting over. Just like that. Playing the carousel game. Playing keep away from Bud. No, it don't work like that. I just thought about that. You're right. He became the mandatory, but that was some crap, bro. Just like Sean Porter is about to become the mandatory, if not the mandatory already. He just recently lost. Now all of a sudden he beat, what was that dude he beat? Formula. He beat Formula. And then all of a sudden, he about to become the mandatory again. Man, come on. So I guess you're right. He was the mandatory, but that was some crap, bro. That was some crap. The way Thurman came in made the fight even because he was fighting a guy that was 42. Yeah. I guess Thurman not living health. Yeah, but nah. Pacquiao knew what he was doing, man. And I can't blame him. I mean, he's a legend. He get to make the calls. He the A side. But that was the tactic, bro. They could have, like, Pacquiao was rocking with the PBC. That could have been already lined up. You know what I mean? Pacquiao knew what he was doing. He didn't okay that to the last minute. While he was over there in the Philippines sharpening up for his next fight, Thurman was over there eating more ravioli in the Himalayas. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know, it was smart strategy by Manny Pacquiao, and I don't object to it at all, though. You know what I mean? Even though it's BS, Danny earned his spot. Keith want a handout, and he can't cut the line. But that's what I'm saying, you know. That's why I say I want to see him face Ugas. No, I'm with you, bro. I think he got to get in the W. He got to get in the win column. You know what I mean? I don't think that he just comes back and automatically I mean, if Earl was to do something like that, my respect level would once again would go through the roof. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's not realistic for me to expect Errol Spence Jr. to fight him, you know, being out of the ring so long and stuff like that. So I totally get where you're coming from. Your Danis Ugas should be the target. And Keith Thurman is well on record saying he loves that fight and he's down for that fight. So your Danis Ugas should be the target. PBC, we're going to be watching that. We definitely going to be watching out for that. I think Keith is regretting ducking Spence now. I think Keith is regretting the Pacquiao fight more than anything. I don't know if he's regretting ducking Spence because he never was ducking Spence. It was, well, I keep going ring around a rosy with it. I just think that it was a plan for Spence, man. I just think that it's a plan. It's just like Pacquiao and Mayweather. Mayweather wasn't going to jump automatically and it was going to let it build. I know you're going to keep winning. I know I'm going to keep winning. I know we both the best here. But we need to make this thing monumental. You got to remember, Keith wanted the Floyd fight years ago. Never got it. Never got the big one. He never really got the big one. And he thought Floyd was going to be the big one until he got the Pacquiao fight, I'm saying. So, you know, he was at that point in time trying to make a big fight. I mean, it's not right, but it ain't wrong either. You know what I'm saying? Keith ducked Bud and Spence. Look, man, can we stop living in the past for a minute? Can we come back to 2020? All right, let's go forward. I can say they all ducked Bud, and y'all tell me I'm tripping when I say that. We can play that game. I'm looking forward. Now, forward, Keith ain't talking like he used to talk no more. Let's deal with that. Keith may have pushed Earl down the line. He may have pushed Bud. I don't deny that. You know what I'm saying? Do I think he would never fought Earl? Absolutely not. Do I think that if Keith Thurman would have never lost to Manny Pacquiao, would he have retired or left the division without facing Earl? I don't think that. I think it was a plan, maybe a retirement plan. I don't know. But I think it was some sort of plan. You know what I mean? So I can't say that, you know, I just think it was a plan. Now, as for Bud, that might be a different story. Realistically, just because a fighter calls someone out doesn't mean that they actually want to fight, especially when politics and labels play a role. It reminds me of Keith and Bud. Same thing. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't really mean that they want to fight. And I always tell y'all this, and I'm about to get ready to get up out of here, fam. I always say, whenever you know one of the PBC fighters are serious about making a fight. If, for example, when Keith Thurman would have came out with his statement, if actually Floyd Mayweather or Leonard Ellaby or Tom Brown or one of them cats that they promote over there would have came out and said it, then you would have known it would have been real talk. Because guess what? Bob Arum, Terrence Crawford's promoter, would have had someone to work with. And Bob Arum would have said, I'll put up half of the money, you put up half of the money, and let's figure it out. Oh, I'll put up, 60%, y'all put up 40%, and we'll bring it on ESPN. Whatever way. The fact of the matter is, no promoter was assigned. So you're telling me you want me to come over here, pay you 10, pay him 10, $20 million out the jump right there from one side. That's when you know it ain't real talk. Until I see a promoter steps forward from PBC. That's how I know it's real talk. You know what I mean? Real spill. About to get ready to get up out of here, fam. A couple more and we ghost. You know what I'm saying? A couple more and we ghost. Nino says, yo, Keith removed his name from the list when he took his L to Manny. I think we covered that. I don't agree with that, though, bro. I don't agree. You can't. How many losses does Danny Garcia got? You know what I'm saying? How many losses did Sean Porter have before Earl beat him? I can't go by losses, especially when you're talking about a rivalry. We covered that earlier. When it comes to a rivalry, losses sometimes don't matter. Derek Chisora got 10 losses, right? But let him get a couple big wins, and guess what? That whole UK country is going to be begging for a Derek Chisora versus Dillian White all over again because they're rivals. Don't matter. He got 10 losses. We know that when you put these two together, it's going to be some fireworks. So that loss does not disqualify Keith from his rival. I don't think so. I just do not think so. Salute to the homie Batman in the building. Hey, Batman, I got your message, fam, all day. You know what I'm saying? What's up with you, man? What's up with you? Keith should get a rematch. Keith should get a rematch. Pac-Man, and before Mikey gets a Pac-Man fight. Absolutely. I would like to see it. You know what I mean? But you know Pac-Man ain't going to do it, man. When he's in a position where he can pick and choose and do what he wants, I mean, it's going to be Mikey or Conor McGregor or bust, man. You feel me? I'm with you, though. I don't think that PBC got but so much control over Manny to make him do what they want him to do. You dig? I almost wonder what's Manny's situation like over there. I think is he a free agent? Is he still with him? Because he moves to his own beat. You know what I mean? But I'm with you, man. You know what I mean? If he can do it, I mean, if he also want to put himself back into position to get a Manny Pacquiao rematch, Yordenis Ugas once again will have to be the target. Because Yordenis Ugas is the WBA regular champion. Pacquiao is the WBA super. That's the best position that you can be in if he wants to get that. So Ugas should be the target. You know what I'm saying? Should be the target all day. Earl can cut off the ring. Don't compare him to Colossal. All right. Earl can cut off the ring. Earl can cut off the ring very good. But Keith got damn good feet, bro. Keith got damn good feet and a really good brain. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And those are two things that you need, I believe, to be competitive against an Errol Spence. And he got him. I don't know if it's power level. I don't know if he got enough to keep Earl off him, but he got the feet to keep moving. And he got the brains for the angles. It'll be a good fight, bro. It'll be a good fight. It'll be a good fight. I got Coach Kennedy in the building. What's up, fam? I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. What's up with you, man? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Spencer ducking. Yeah, man. That's right. Can't duck Keith, bro. That's his rival. That's the Joker to his Batman. You know what I'm saying? Pito, how in the hell can Bud trick Thurman when Thurman demanded $10 million? F out of here, man, with that BS, bro. Yeah, exactly. $10 million. Look, I want to leave everybody with this. Y'all know I rock with Keith. But what he did to Bud, Keith Thurman is not even worth $10 million. The man wanted his net worth to face Bud. They all do. He wanted his net worth. $10 million. You only worth $8 million. Manny only paid you $8 million. You got the great legendary Manny Pacquiao for $8 million, but you won $10 million from Bud. And is that the guarantee? That ain't even counting the back end, right? So of course he priced himself out, bro. And that was deliberate. Because it sounds good to the ear that I'm calling out Terrence Crawford. It sounds good, and people gonna run with it. Oh, Terrence Crawford avoided Keith. It sounds good. You'll confuse a lot of casuals with that. But the cats like me who look deeper, we know what's up. We know what's up. Pito, what's up, man? Pito say, yo, man, Thurman ain't even get $10 million from Pac-Man. Facts. He got $8 million, who's a bigger star than Bud. But he really thought that he was going to get it from Bud. Facts. Don't come on here talking dumb. Yeah, exactly. 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 You ain't even get it from a legend. You ain't even worth that in all the fights in your entire career. But you wanted all of that from the kid from Omaha, who y'all claims is not a draw, who y'all claim is not a star, but you want the biggest bag that you ever saw. I'm with you, Pito. I'm with you all day on that, man. Yo, man, Batman say, yo, Bud and his team ducked out. Bud and his team ducked out on the Keith to fight Kale. No, bro. Keith didn't come correct. Keith didn't come correct. Here's the deal. Why has Keith yet to ask for $10 million from any other fighter? Never. He didn't even ask that for Manny. Any other fighter never asked for that amount of money. And this is in record with Keith in his past comments of telling Crawford to get a belt, of calling his title the WB No, of clowning Crawford like he's too small and who is he beat when he got to the class, when the very first name that Bud called out at welterweight, what, 3-4 years ago at this point, the very first name, right after the Jeff Horn fight, was Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman went mute. He hit the mute button. You know what I mean? Oh, Bud, what WB? No, we don't want your title. We don't want your belt. Who are you, Bud? Get on my level. And that's what I'm saying. You know, Batman, that's what I mean. You got to look at these cats all in this totality. And what Keith did right there was is 2020 boxing. Sounding like you want to fight, pretending like you want to fight, but putting in some BS to show everybody that you really don't want to fight. You know that Top Rank ain't gonna pay that much money for Bud. Should they? Should they negotiate it? Because I know how y'all are. Should they have came to negotiate it? Absolutely. But I just don't think that Keith would have moved on that. I truly don't. Keith wasn't even prepared. He's still getting prepared. He's still letting out new exercise videos and sitting around eating ravioli. Keith wasn't even ready at that time when he asked for the 10 million. He might would have gotten ready, sure. But he wasn't really, he knew that damn well that was just some stuff to get his name popping again. He knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? Black Star, what's up with you, man? Good morning to you, fam. What's up? What's up? You already know, Black Star. I'm going to get you up on here soon, fam. Get you up on here soon, man. Real spill, man. But you okay with somebody saying I'm not fighting my best friend who didn't come to my wedding because he had next on Madden? Hey, last time I checked, that was a two-way street, Mike. I heard Sean Porter telling the same thing. So you could say Bud said that, but Sean said the same thing. And guess what? I got quotes that go back for years of Sean playing the game, I don't know, I got to call Bud. You remember the video I did a couple months ago when we did this and Sean Porter, and they asked Sean Porter the big question, like, are you going to fight Bud? And they put him on the spot. And that man started telling you a Mother Goose poem or something. He was just like, roses are red, violets are blue. I love Bud and he loves me too. Bud is my best friend to the end. He's like Teddy Ruxpin. I love him to death. Remember that? I love Bud. I just love him. I couldn't believe my ears. But that's the guy you clapping for right now. The man who fell in love with Bud. I love him. I just love him. You love him, huh? You love him. Damn. I ain't never heard Bud go that far. You just like, you know what, man? I love Bud, man. I love everything about him. I like the way he punches. I just love him. But you ain't been to your wedding. So who really faking and funking it? Who really faking it? You know what I mean? Who really faking it? Yo, Batman says, man, they could have negotiated. They could have gave them 7 and the pay-per-view and let them get the rest of that. Could have. But also Keith could have just came and said that's what he wanted. Right? Sure, of course, it's good negotiations to aim high so they could chop you down, yada, yada, yada. But when you talking 10 million in a pandemic, that's just letting me know you way out the realm of reality, bruh. This is a pandemic. You got 8 from Pacquiao when the pandemic wasn't even happening. You asking for 10 in a pandemic. So let me put this on the bulletin board right next to WB No, right next to get a belt. Let me put this on you avoiding the call outs. It's just a pattern, and that's why Errol Spence Jr. fan base is so pissed off at Keith Thurman. They don't like his pattern, and they feel like this is just Keith in a regular pattern that he's always been in. I feel a little different about that. But his patterns, man, it's hard to argue with him, bro. That man never really wanted that Bud smoke, man. He had many opportunities. Bud, when he first got up to welterweight, he was starving. He just wanted any of them. It didn't matter. Keith was the man back then. And he went straight for Keith, straight for the juggler, straight for Keith. Then after Earl became the man, he going straight for Earl. This man is the #1 pound for pound fighter in boxing. I don't have time for your Ennis, your Jerron Ennis's, your Virgil Ortiz's, your other little dudes over there, your Ugas's. I don't have time for them. I'm the #1 pound for pound fighter in boxing. I want the best you got. Don't give me your trash. Send me your treasures so I can take them shits. You know what I mean? That's how Bud thinking. So I feel him. He want the best. Want the best step up. You know what I mean? Real spill. Mike says, yo, it's just like you've been chasing this girl all through high school. She ain't want nothing to do with you because you was the water boy and you went to college and made the team and made the pros and now she down. But see, that's not right. That's not how it is, bro. See, y'all, look, Mike, I don't understand how you okay with Errol doing the same thing that Keith did. And you're saying it's all right for one and not. I'm not going to agree with that. It's all wrong, fam. It's all wrong. You ain't hurting Keith by not fighting him. You hurt Keith by fighting him. That's how you hurt him. Keith gonna get money regardless. He with PB, they'll line him up with something. He'll get a couple dollars. The point I'm making is you want to hurt Keith. You really want to hurt Keith, then you shame him and you beat him and you beat him bad. That's how we settle things in the sport. We don't settle things on social media and by walking away from a situation. Nah, that ain't how it gets settled, champ. It gets settled in that ring. You know what I mean? Much love to you all, fam. I got to get low. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we've been rolling for a minute. Salute to everybody, man. Everybody, man. Appreciate all the support this morning. Everybody sliding on through. Thumbs up for the homie on the way out if you did not hit it on the way in. Much love to you all, man. I appreciate y'all. We will be back for We Talking Boxing. I'm lining up all my topics. Y'all know how we get down. Y'all know, just keep rocking with the homie, man. And don't forget, man, rock the bell. Salute to everybody in Mainman, Mademan's boxing forum over there on Facebook. We working, we building, you know what I'm saying? Much love to all of the new signups. Thank you all. Batman, I'll be seeing you real soon, fam. And much love to you all, man. I'm out of here. Y'all stay safe, stay stressed, and sucker free. You know what I mean? Keep your families protected. You know what I'm saying? Keep yourselves protected. Remember, the devil is everywhere, omnipresent, everywhere at the same time, coming to ruin your life, your marriage, your business, your kids' lives, your mama lives, your daddy lives, everybody. He just want to make you miserable. Don't let it happen. And it's going to come at you all day today. Don't let it win all day. And I see y'all on the next one. To the next one, man. Peace out.